And I just want to bring one example. It's kind of a minor example, but it's important. We just had this stuff from NBC and Newsweek about how much it costs to feed 10 people at a Thanksgiving dinner. They claim that you can now, that prices have gone down, which they haven't. We know that from inflation stats. The rate of inflation has come down, but not the prices. They say $58 for 10 people to eat a turkey dinner. They claim that a 16-pound turkey you can get for $25. At Zabar's here in our New York City, you know how much a 16-pounder costs?
Oh, I can just imagine.
It's about $200.
In the Borelli household,
$200, so they're only 10 times off.
You're all invited, but in the Borelli household, we're at $58 a person when you factor in the wine.
Absolutely.
But to your point about trust in the media, on this issue alone, on these bomb threats and on this FBI vetting the candidates, I had the unfortunate luck of checking what the other networks were saying about the FBI vetting. And one of the networks actually had to do a why it matters piece. Why it matters that Trump is not vetting or using the FBI to vet. The fact that they have to have a why it matters piece is prima facie evidence that it doesn't matter to the majority of Americans.
Yeah.
And by the way, to Monica's point, I did check in with two of those appointees, Elise Stefanik and Lee Zeldin. They're both doing fine. And by the way, both said that this only strengthens their resolve to implement Donald Trump's agenda.
New York City has been paying a lot of money for illegal migrants, some of whom, by the way, turn around and go out in the streets and attack New Yorkers. But the non-citizens are getting paid, and they're asking for more money from the feds to pay the citizens. What do you make of all this?
And it gets deeper when you look at the numbers, right? SNAP benefits for an average New Yorker.
SNAP is what we call the old food stamps.
SNAP is food stamps. You get a benefit of something like $190 every week. That's nothing compared to the $350+ each migrant gets to stay in a shelter, get their food, get their clothing, get health insurance, etc. These are genuinely needy Americans who are getting a simple benefit, food, actual food, access to food, and yet we are unable to pay for that because of these costs that are continuing to rise. We're starting to wind down the migrant shelter system here in New York, and I'm glad that's happening, but it is not soon enough, and it is costing way too much.
You know what's interesting is all these issues come together. Insecurity by our public officials. I mean, all these issues come together with the Trump administration. It's got a lot in its hands, but they have a lot of talented people to handle it. Indeed. Good to see you all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for being here.
Good to see you.
All righty. Moving on now.